Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome everyone. We have a new topic, that is Excel Solver. We use Excel Solver to solve for unknown variables, and the Excel Solver uses the trial and error method to reach a given objective. In mathematics, we use a linear programming approach to solve for unknowns. Excel Solver uses something like that. To understand how Excel Solver works, first of all, we have to understand its key concepts. There are three key concepts in the Excel Solver. The first one is objective cell. Objective cell is the cell which we try to either maximize, or we try to minimize, or we try to reach a specific target. So let's say that our objective is to maximize revenue. In this case, the objective cell will be changed by the Excel solver unless it finds the maximum value within the given constraints. Always keep in mind the objective cell must be a formula. It cannot be a static cell. So it must be an Excel formula. The second key concept is changing cells. There should be some variable cells which the Excel solver will try to change to reach the objective. So these cells are you can say these are the inputs. And the third key concept is the constraint. We will reach the objective keeping in view the constraints. Since we live in real world and we face certain constraints, we have to keep those constraints in mind. For example, when we try to maximize revenue, the constraint might be that we can produce to a certain level of units. We might be constrained by the maximum number of employees. We might be constrained by the availability of raw material. So constraints are the conditions which must be met when we try to reach the objective. So these are some of the key concepts for using Excel solver. Before using the Excel solver, let's try to see whether it is installed or not. So we can check that in the data menu. If you click on the data menu, and if you see the analyze tab and you see Excel solver, then it is already installed. But if you cannot see this specific tab, you need to install it. To install the Excel solver, we go to file, and then the very last option in the menu is options. Here I click on that, and then on the left menu I'll browse to add-ins, and then on the right menu I'll search for solver add-in. So click on that, select it, and then click on the go button, and make sure that the solver add-in is checked by default it will be like this. It is not checked, so it must be checked like this. Click OK, and this will install the Excel solver within few seconds. Once it is installed, it is ready. So this is the interface of the Excel solver. The first key concept that we discussed was set objective. So this is the objective cell which we will try to either maximize, either or minimize, or we will try to set it equal to certain value. Then we have changing cells. These are different cells or range of cells which Excel solver will try to change, and these changing cells are, just like I said before, these are inputs and they are linked to the objective cell. When we change them, the objective cell will also change. And the third key concept that we discussed was constraints. So we can add constraints like this. We will provide cell reference, and then we can set the constraint either equal to, less than, greater than, integers, binary, or difference. And then we set the constraint that the cell reference is either equal to or less than, greater than or equal to. So this is the setup for using the Excel solver. Now let's use a first example of how we can use the Excel solver. To do that, I'm going to the website, computer, opendoors.pk, then move on to courses, computer applications for finance, then go to lectures, and then go to Excel solver, that is lecture number 24. So I am downloading the first example, coffee shop example, and this should be it. This is a Word file which describes the Excel solver and the coffee shop example in detail. Actually, it is available somewhere on the internet. Then we have another link, Excel solver, that is the Excel file. Let's try to understand this specific example, and then we will try to solve it. So assume that we are running a coffee shop and it offers 3 types of coffee. The first type is regular coffee that has a price of $1.2 per cup. We also sell another type of coffee that is latte, and it has a price of $2 per cup. And we also sell premium mocha, and it is available for $2.2 per cup. So if I sell, let's say $100, 100 cups, my revenue from regular coffee would be $125. And since I'm not selling anything else, total revenue so far is $125. Total revenue is equal to revenue from regular coffee, revenue from premium latte, and revenue from premium mocha. Each subtotal is obtained by multiplying the price and the number of cups in each coffee. And if I sell 100 of these, my revenue from the latte would be 200. And similarly, if I sell 100 from these, my revenue from this will be 225. I'm just entering these value manually. I don't have to, because Excel solver will try to change these value by itself, but I'm trying to just clarify this example for understanding. So far we have a total revenue of 550. Our objective in this example would be to maximize. Our objective is maximize revenues. What are our changing sales? What are our inputs? Our changing sales are the quantity. These are our changing cell. Let me highlight them with yellow color. So just like I said, we don't have to enter these values. Excel solver will try to populate these value by itself. But now for example, I have entered 100 in each one of these. Okay. So far, we are selling 100 cups of the regular. So this is summary of total cups, and we are selling 200 premium cups, because this is premium latte, this is premium mocha. So both of these are 100. So we are selling total of 200 of premium, and at the moment we are selling a total of 300 cups. Now let's define our constraints. Our first constraint is that we cannot sell more than 500 cups, because we have limited capacity, we have limited number of employees, so we cannot sell more than 500 cups. So this is our first constraint. Second constraint, that we cannot sell more than 350 premium cups. So if we sell more than that, it will break our constraint. And third constraint is that maximum mocha cannot be sold beyond 125 cups. So these are the three constraints that we need to keep in mind. So if these constraints are not violated, we will try to maximize our revenue. Currently, our revenue is 550. So we shall see whether we can increase the revenue beyond this point. So let's move on to Excel solver and try to find a solution for our problem. Our objective cell is revenue cell, and we shall try to maximize the revenue. I'm going into the selection. So I've selected cell G4 and I clicked on that. I'm trying it to maximize. My changing cells are this cell, comma, and the last one. So I selected D5, D9 and D13. These are cells that the Excel solver will keep on changing unless it satisfies all the conditions, all the constraints, and find the maximum revenue. So we have three constraints, so let's add them. The first constraint is that the maximum cups should be 500 or less than 500. Less than 500 is acceptable, but more than 500 is not acceptable when we say maximum cups. So where do we find the total cups? The total cups we have found the total cups in cell G8 here. So I set the constraint equal to or less than equal 500. So the total number of cups should be 500 or less than 500 when we say maximum. I will add that. I will not click OK so that the dialog box remains open. The second constraint is maximum premium should be less than or equal to 350. So the premium cups are mentioned here, and they should be less than or equal to 350. I add this constraint, and the last constraint is maximum mocha should be 125 cups. So maximum mocha, its quantity is given here. This is mocha, and this is the quantity, so it should be less than or equal to 125. And now I can click OK. All the constants are added here, and I'll click on solve. It says that the Excel solver has found a solution, and our revenue at this moment is 910. Previously it was 575, so the revenue has been maximized. And if we see, our total cups are not more than 500, which is according to the constraint. The premium are 350, and we are selling 150 cups of regular coffee, 225 of premium latte, and 125, that was the third constraint, so we are not selling more than that. So I would like you to have some practice on this, and then we shall come back for more examples.